Good morning, English literature students. This lecture is specially meant for Rajasthan University students, BA Part 1, Paper 1 of English literature, that is poetry and drama. And today we shall be discussing Kabir's poem, It is Needless to Ask of His Saint, the caste to which he belongs. Students, as the earlier lecture, I had explained you this particular poem. So, certainly these notes by Vijay Priya, and this is very essential. So, I will be just first read out the poem and then her views on this particular poem, which will prove to be very beneficial for you from the examination point of view. I will go on relating that to you. Now, first of all, see the poem. It is needless to ask of his saint the caste to which he belongs. For the priest, the warrior, the tradesman, and all the 36 castes alike are seeking for God. It is but folly to ask what the caste of a saint may be. The barber has sought God, the washerwoman, and the carpenter. Even Raidas was a seeker after God. The Rishi Swapach was a tanner by caste. Hindus and Muslims alike have achieved that, and where remains no mark of distinction. So, student, now I will just read out this particular note for you. It is needless to ask of his saint the caste to which he belongs. See how it has been interpreted. Kabir ranks among, to quote, Kabir ranks among the world's greatest poets in India. He is perhaps the most quoted author, with the exception of Tulsidas. That you know, if you have confronted few books of Kabir Das, Tulsidas. So, Kabir has criticized perhaps all existing sects in India. Still, he is mentioned with respect by even orthodox authors. Vaishnav author Navadas in his Bhaktamal, again to quote, writes, he lived perhaps during 1398 to 1448. He is thought to have lived longer than 100 years. He had enormous influence on Indian philosophy and on Hindi poetry. His birth and death are surrounded by legends. He grew up in a Muslim weaver family, but some say he was really son of a Brahmin widow who was adopted by a childless couple. When he died, his Hindu and Muslim followers started fighting about the last rites. The legend is that when they lifted the cloth covering his body, they found flowers instead. The Muslim followers buried their half, and the Hindu cremated their half. So, in Maghar, his tomb and Samadhi still stand side by side. So, he is a figure whom ours is a secular nation, whom all, whether it is Hindu, Muslim, all were his followers. Okay, so no caste discrimination. So now see the lines of the poem. It is needless to ask of a saint the caste to which he belongs. Jat na pucho sadhu ki. For the priest, the warrior, the tradesman, and all the 36 castes alike are seeking for God. So it's not that if there is a there is a saint from Brahmin caste, only he can seek God. God means God is meant for all. God means the values. God means the truth. God means serving humanity. So this is what here again he says. So anybody can achieve that state. For the priest, the warrior, the tradesman, and all the 36 castes alike are seeking for God. It is but folly to ask what the caste of a saint may be. So it can be barber. Barber has sought God, the washerwoman and the carpenter. Even Raidas was a seeker after God. The Rishi Swapach, who was a tanner by caste. So even he had achieved that state. Hindus and Muslims alike have achieved that end. So there remains no mark of distinction. So to tell you few things about Kabir, now you know Kabir, when we read Bhakti movement and when we read about Kabir, so we know that he was a great social reformer. So, Saint Kabir is very important figure of Indian society which enlightens the reformation process in the society in the positive way. It is, and we need such type of people. It is needless to ask the saint which to the caste which he belongs. Caste system, as you already know, it's a blot on humanism. So still till today, even in villages, so the people who belong, as it is believed that the people who belong to lower caste, they are not given rights, and it still happens. Many villages which are dominated by jamidars, so there this exploitation is still prevailing. So now it is needless to ask the saint which to caste which he belongs. So caste system is blot on humanism due to its people of the country lost much more things. In this poem, poet criticizes the mentalities which strengthen the caste system. Dominant classes always keep attention for the developed. Sorry. Now, you know, society is civilized group, okay, which works for the common interest. But in case of the Indian society, the spirit of integrated society had already vanished, and still these are the problems which are facing, okay. So on the basis of caste system, still people cast votes also. So people don't understand the value of true religion. That is the main problem. So the people of the society have not equal rights, and then how can we call it a society? Civilized society, I mean to say that. If the people have not equally treated, then how can society gets its concrete shape? Social discrimination, economic disparity, political suppression, etc., are the part and parcel of the Indian society. Still, till today, in some villages, you find this. Then, how can we say the society is developing in progressive direction? So, therefore, the poet says people should not ask about caste of a saint. 21st century is the century of human rights, so which always fight for the basic fundamental rights of human being. So it is, this poem is related to the freedom, okay. Now this poem has broken down the boundaries of casteism and all social evils. See, this poem is in just 4 lines, but in these 4 lines you get the picture of the society, all the evils which are prevailing in the society, and we have to remove that. Otherwise we cannot progress. People are coming too close to each other for the betterment. That is good. Globalization is there. India is shining, its economy is roaring in the world economic scenario. Still, there are some places, as I told you, there are remote villages. Okay, so they still face these problems. People are subject to get punishment, by higher caste or the authorities, as I told you, the jamidars. So there are many atrocities are being, are being, what you say, happening against these marginalized people of country. So this poem compels to think about the abandoned people of the society, and it decides new social order for the betterment of the society. See, the poem written way back, so many years back, hundreds and hundreds, and so many years back, not is I cannot tell you the exact time, but so many decades have taken place. So it compels us to think. So this poem compels us to think about the abandoned people by the society, and it decides new social order for the betterment of the society. And still casteism is a, what you say, wound which still prevails in the society. So the intellectual, academicians, authors, administrative officers, everyone must come forward and must pay an attention for the sustainable development of the society. Then only there can be equality, then only there can be peace, and then only there can be progress in our society. So student, my main aim is that you should read this particular poem from the social reformation point of view. Thank you, students. Thank you for your patience for today's lecture. So, thank you so much.